They came hungry for blood. 20 apex hunters, teeth bared, engines humming like thunder. The boarding hatch spat them into a cramped medical bay filled with flickering amber light. And the scene that stopped a war before it began. 2 Vrexian cubs, breath even and quiet, curled on the chest of a human woman with a broken arm. The pack's fury stalled at that impossible calm. What happens when the thing you were sent to destroy looks back at you with the soft logic of a parent? If this hook grabbed you, hit like and subscribe. There's more HFY where this came from. Share this story with someone who loves reluctant heroes and awkward peace treaties. Stick around for a tale about teeth, choices, and how families are made. The distress beacon screamed across black space, one long, haunting pulse that cut through the static like a wounded animal. The Vrexian pack picked it up first. 20 ships moved as one body, their hulls scarred and scaled like living beasts. Inside the lead vessel, Alpha Kale rose from his command throne, nostrils flaring as the signal repeated, "Ein, human freighter, call sign Serenity, critical failure, humans." Kale's claws clicked against the metal as he paced. For cycles, his kind had hunted those reckless bipeds, small, soft, but unnervingly hard to kill. The last encounter had left one of their own dead and a dozen wounded. To Kale, this beacon wasn't a cry for help. It was bait. "Boarding team, ready yourselves," he growled. The bridge lights dimmed to crimson. The crew howled, low and unified, a ritual older than their engines. The pack moved like a storm, claws on alloy, weapons slung, eyes glowing amber. Each warrior knew what was expected. Cleanse the ship, avenge the fallen, prove dominance. As they approached, the derelict freighter came into view, half-tilted and bleeding oxygen. Through the viewport, the human vessel looked lifeless, but when their sensors swept the interior, Kale saw movement, small, clustered shapes in the medbay. "Cubs?" one of his lieutenants whispered, confused. "Impossible," Kale replied. His tone carried both curiosity and something close to unease. Because prey didn't raise cubs, they ate them. The boarding ramp locked with a metallic hiss. Air rushed between the 2 ships, tasting like burnt ozone and blood. Kale led the advance. His claws scraped along the floor of the human vessel as his eyes adjusted to the dim, amber lights, flickering in rhythm with the dying power core. Every step echoed through the silent corridors, a predator's heartbeat amplified by steel. The pack spread out. "Heat signatures, medbay, port side," barked Lieutenant Threx. The door slid open with a hydraulic groan. And then, the room froze. Every weapon in the pack lowered an inch, confusion rippling like static through the ranks. There, on a gurney too small for her frame, lay a human woman, pale, bruised, her arm in a crude splint. 2 Vrexian cubs, barely old enough to walk, were curled against her chest. Their tiny claws clutched her torn uniform. Her heartbeat synced with theirs. Slow, steady, impossibly calm. The smell of fear was gone. In its place was something disorienting. Warmth. "She protected them," Threx murmured. One cub stirred, blinking up with soft, slit-pupiled eyes, then nuzzled closer into the human's collar. A silence thick as gravity filled the room. Kale stepped forward, his shadow falling over them. He could end her life with a single motion. And yet his claws hesitated, trembling with a memory older than war. "Alpha?" Threx whispered. Kale's voice came low. "Stand down." The air inside the medbay was still, too still. You could almost hear the hum of their thoughts clashing against instinct. Kale's pack waited for his command. Every law of the Vrexian creed demanded the human's death. She was an enemy, a trespasser, a destroyer of their kin. Yet what they saw before them didn't fit the words they'd been raised on. "Alpha!" Threx spoke again, his voice tight. "The code is clear. She should not live." Kale didn't answer right away. His eyes stayed fixed on the woman. He watched her chest rise and fall. He watched the cubs' tails twitch against her armor as if they'd known her all their short lives. The code, the sacred pack law that said blood must repay blood. But Cale remembered another line, older, whispered only among the eldest. Mercy binds stronger than hunger. He'd thought it was a myth, a story for pups. But here, in this quiet, flickering room, that line sounded more like prophecy. "What would you do," Cale finally said, "if your cubs slept on the chest of the enemy?" Threx flinched, unable to answer. The alpha turned away, his tail flicking once, a signal to hold position. Behind him, one cub gave a soft, content sound, almost like a purr. Cale froze again. A sound lie that didn't belong on a battlefield. It belonged in a home. Hours passed. The pack sealed the medbay, posted guards, and waited for the alpha's decision. Cale didn't move far from the human. He watched her breathe, watched the cub's ears twitch at every sound. Something in the quiet started to eat away at his certainty. When the woman stirred, the pack tensed. Her eyelids fluttered open, confused but calm. Her voice cracked softly. "They're safe?" Cale's ears flicked. "They are," he said, more growl than word. She tried to sit up, but her arm failed her. He caught her before she fell, his massive hand steadying her frail frame. For a moment, predator and prey simply existed. No war, no species, just survival. "They were trapped in the fire," she whispered. "Couldn't leave them. Not their fault." Threx looked away, as if the words burned. Even hardened warriors felt it, that human tone that carried guilt and love like twin scars. The cubs woke, chirped, and climbed onto her lap. She smiled, exhaustion softening her face. "Guess they trust me." Cale knelt. His shadow loomed over all three, a giant carved from war. "They should not," he murmured. Then his voice dropped, low, certain. "And yet, they do." Something ancient shifted in the room, the first crack in the armor of hate.